We've built an entire culture around an exhausting pipeline. You grind through decades of high-stress work, pushing through burnout, all to hit a specific financial number so you can finally pack it in and escape. The societal promise is that total cessation of work is the ultimate prize. We are told that clearing our calendars forever provides a life of pure relaxation. But the data reveals a contradiction. When people actually reach that finish line and clear away all professional responsibilities, they often face a steep decline. Mental sharpness fades, and the built-in community that anchored their week suddenly disappears. Waking up on a Tuesday morning with absolutely nothing required of you sounds idyllic. In practice, it creates a psychological vacuum. There is no problem to solve, no one relying on your specific skills, and no clear reason to get out of bed. Stripping away all daily obligations doesn't automatically grant you freedom. By completely severing ties with meaningful tasks, you destroy human purpose. In Okinawa, Japan, the idea of grinding just to eventually escape work does not exist. This region holds one of the highest concentrations of centenarians on Earth. The local dialect here lacks a direct translation for the word retirement. Instead of stopping at an arbitrary age, residents intentionally maintain active roles in their community well into their 90s. They achieve these long, capable lives because they replaced the goal of doing nothing with a concept called Ikigai, a daily driving reason for being. Ikigai is a precise intersection of 4 specific human metrics. First, you evaluate the internal variables. You take the activities you genuinely love doing and cross-reference them with the things you are naturally good at. Then, you lock in the external variables. You figure out what the world actively needs right now and what the market is actually willing to pay you for. Pinpointing the exact overlapping center of all 4 generates a self-sustaining engine of motivation. It produces a daily routine so engaging that the desire to permanently retire never crosses your mind. The obvious question is how someone can work for 8 or 9 decades without burning out. Surviving that kind of timeline requires a specific mental defense mechanism. This data table tracks the relationship between certain psychological conditions and person-level happiness. The positive values point to a concept identified by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called flow, a state of total, frictionless immersion in whatever task is right in front of you. When you hit this state, you lose track of time. The mental friction of forcing yourself to work vanishes, and the effort becomes its own reward. This slow, highly focused immersion sits in direct opposition to the frantic multitasking of modern professional life. In Okinawa, they recognize that chronic, low-grade anxiety does far more biological damage over time than the simple passing of years. Slowing down and anchoring your attention to a single task operates as a biological survival strategy. It shields the body from the physical wear and tear driven by constant stress. That mental resilience is backed up by a rigid social safety net. Okinawan society prioritizes the formation of moai, formalized, lifelong circles of peers. These groups are highly practical. They function as an emotional buffer during personal crises and act as a literal, pooled financial safety net when a member falls on hard times. Knowing that you have guaranteed, unwavering peer support eliminates the chronic stress of isolation. By removing that loneliness, they neutralize one of the most statistically significant drivers of early mortality. Keeping the physical body capable of supporting a 90-year purpose requires a specific constraint, captured in the phrase hara hachibu. The mechanics are straightforward. They rely on a low-sugar, heavily plant-based diet and enforce a strict rule to stop eating the exact moment they feel 80% full. Consuming excess food forces your system to divert energy toward digestion, driving up systemic inflammation. Capping intake at 80% keeps the physical machine light, efficient, and capable of pursuing that daily purpose indefinitely. People often search for Ikigai as if it were a grand, singular destiny found by accident. It functions as a granular, daily project, constructed through small joys and repetitive, mindful habits. Enduring decades of a job you despise just to buy a few idle years at the end of your life is a flawed trade. A successful life is designing a daily routine so aligned with your skills and community that you never feel the urge to hit pause. Success should never be treated as an escape route from your own life. Instead of organizing your energy around an arbitrary finish line, focus on aligning your daily actions with what you love, what you're good at, and what the world actually needs. Stop trying to earn your freedom through exhaustion. Build your Ikigai first, and a long, successful life will naturally follow.